You know, like I joke with you, like, how much of the Bitcoin do you want? Oh, I want it all. I'm not going to get it all. I mean, if I work my entire life, I might work my way up to 1% or 1.5% or something if I get very lucky and I'm very diligent and the wind blows in the right direction. But if I do, and if I end up buying $100 billion of this stuff, then there'll be something like $99.9 trillion of Bitcoin for everybody else. You see, some crazy thing, right? You're just going to drive up the value of it in an insane amount. So that's worth doing, but it's ultimately an egalitarian thing. Bitcoin is an egalitarian energy network.
Michael Saylor's ambitious goal is to purchase $100 billion worth of Bitcoin, relentlessly pursuing ownership of 1 to 1.5% of the total supply. His unparalleled determination stems from a profound belief that this significant Bitcoin acquisition can contribute to improving the world. Saylor's conviction is evident in his willingness to invest billions of dollars and stake his entire reputation on this endeavor, showcasing an unwavering commitment rarely seen in the space. In a detailed breakdown presented in the video, Saylor articulates the compelling reasons behind his strong faith in Bitcoin. He delves into the core aspects that make Bitcoin more than just a financial asset, portraying it as a symbol of hope for the world. This exceptional commitment and belief in the transformative power of Bitcoin sets Saylor apart as a visionary in the cryptocurrency space. The video not only offers insights into Saylor's deep conviction but also concludes with valuable investment advice from him. Saylor emphasizes the importance of focus, positioning it as one's best ally in navigating the complexities of the cryptocurrency landscape. This threefold narrative encapsulates Saylor's ambitious mission, the profound reasons behind it, and the practical guidance he shares with fellow investors.
Complicated strategy, John. It's like make Bitcoin successful, provide free education to the world, and come back to the laser focus. I think most people fail because they have 6 good ideas and they think that they can pursue all 6, and you can't pursue all 6, right? Oftentimes, maybe you could do 1 or 2, or like when you get past the fingers on one hand, you're dilutive. In every other battle you choose to fight and the like, it just slows you down. And by the time you get reasonably diluted, you're 1% as effective or 0.1% as effective. So I really think you got to focus. So people declare victory too soon. They think, oh, I did this, so I'm done. Well, no, you're not done. You've accomplished 1% of what you think you need to accomplish when you're done. You've got 100x more to do, right? If people just declare victory, they're overconfident and they underestimate the amount of energy it's going to take to do even one thing well. And they think because they can do 10 things decently, they should. But the Stoic philosophy here holds that it's just because you can do a thing doesn't mean you should do the thing. And the true mark of maturity is you could do 100 things. You choose to do one thing. And perhaps one thing at the family level, you have a family life, and then one thing at the professional level. I think you can have like a professional, a vocation, an avocation, and maybe you can have a friends and family thing, but you really need to focus upon that, right? Because as soon as you start thinking that you're that gifted human being that can somehow juggle 3 things or 5 things, Julius Caesar was gifted. I think they said he could like dictate in 7 different languages simultaneously. He still got his ass handed to him in Egypt. And ultimately he got murdered by his best friends. Okay, so yeah, and Napoleon was thought to be quite the genius too, and he whiffed twice. The world's full of people that were geniuses and they were hyper successful and they implode spectacularly, generally because they get to this point of success and then someone strokes their ego and they decide they're going to have to go fix 4 more things. It's the best reason to try to accumulate energy so that you can actually make the world a better place. I think there's acid test inversion, which is you cross the chasm when you start thinking in terms of, I'm going to convert my analog energy or my physical energy into digital energy, and I'm going to store it forever. And then I'm going to fund my expenses and fund my charitable interest with the yield on the energy. Like the gold people never figured it out with gold. They somehow have to mine the gold, convert it into dollars, and then they don't hold the gold. So their balance sheet is continually collapsing. So a conventional business, it has a balance sheet of cash and credit and it's collapsing. A conventional family is collapsing. When you flip to a digital balance sheet, then your balance sheet starts accreting, like the MicroStrategy balance sheet. It was 500 million or 250 million, then 500 million, then a billion, then 2 billion, then 4 billion, now 7 billion, right? When you flip to a balance sheet that is accreting, then you realize that you organize your life so that everything else can be done even off of the interest or the yield on the balance sheet. So if you figure that out, I mean, to do it well, you either have to have a job where you generate income, so you're just generating income in fiat and you stack and your stack just accumulates, or you have to establish a relationship with a banker that will give you a loan against the Bitcoin and fund in the fiat. But once you've crossed that chasm, it's a very bright line, right? You flip from a position where my balance sheet is primarily invested in assets that are deteriorating at a faster rate than the money supply is expanding, or they're growing at a slower rate than the money supply is expanding. You've either got that situation or you flip to the other situation where my balance sheet is accreting at a faster rate than the supply of money is expanding. And when you hit that inflection point, you see that when you're before that inflection point, if I give you any amount of money and it's not growing faster than the money supply, you can draw a line and you have a terminal point on the line where you run out of money. And when you flip, you become immortal. And so it's really this quest for immortality where if you're living in fear and you're saving in dollars, you've got a life expectancy of 4 years or 2 years or 14 years, right? When are you going to run out? And when you flip it, your life expectancy is infinite, or your energy expectancy is like, now the energy is going to outlast my organic frame. In fact, my money will live beyond me. And now you're like, and John, maybe this is an interesting place where you get to religion and morality, because if your money's going to outlive you, you start thinking about children, right? You start thinking about, I got to be married, I should have children, I start thinking about my children. And then you start thinking, I better make sure that my kids aren't spoiled. I better make sure they're well educated. I better protect them because I don't want a spoiled kid with a lot of money, that's going to squander it. And then you start thinking, oh, that park in my neighborhood, I think I'm going to endow that and I'm going to keep that park. And then you start thinking, well, I got to fix my country because my kids are going to live in it. And so when you feel like your energy will go on, your time horizon goes beyond this horizon. That's another famous Heinlein book, by the way, Beyond This Horizon. Good book.
I gotta check out Heinlein after this.
You'll see over the horizon, and then it's probably good that you're going to die, because if you know you're going to die, you think, well, I better actually put my energy into institutions and my family or people around me so that they'll live on and they'll express my values and maybe they'll remember me, right? And what I did for them. I told you I'm going to give you Bitcoin and you can live forever. You might almost become too inwardly focused. You become like that insane, immortal God that only thinks of themselves, and you just generally go insane. So I don't know about that one. I'm not sure. I'm not ready to grapple with that. That's a philosophical, metaphysical thing. And you know where this is expressed in the last 1,000 years? It was in the writing of a book. So if you lived 500 years, if you're Charles Dickens, or, if you're any of the great writers, they would sit down and they have something to say. They write a book, Voltaire, and they gave it to the world. And you get the poignant sense that, right, they were writing to future generations and you're leaping across the years, to get their wisdom. So it used to be the way that you could immortalize yourself, your ego, your sentiment, your life experiences was to write the book. Vita Vita Vici, right? Even Caesar wrote the book. They wanted to leave that. Well, so now with Bitcoin, you can leave the book, but you can also leave more than the book. I mean, you're going to leave these podcasts. So, maybe 10,000 years from now, people are going to look at John Vallis and try to figure out what was going on at the advent of the Bitcoin era. Right? And they'll be looking at you. And so say hi to people 10,000 years from now, John. We miss you guys. Don't screw it up. And it boils down to just this last phrase, right? Bitcoin is hope, right? Bitcoin is hope. Now you have hope. You can see beyond the horizon. And now that you have hope, you got to figure out what you're going to do with your life and what you're going to do with your life energy, because someone gave you back the option. And before Bitcoin, we took it away from you. If we take away, the option, then life is hopeless. So lucky us. We have hope.
Michael Saylor's steadfast belief in Bitcoin goes beyond the pursuit of financial gain. It encapsulates a profound vision for a future where Bitcoin plays a transformative role in creating a better world. His commitment unfolds as more than just a financial venture, embodying a story of unwavering conviction and a bold bet on a future that remains enigmatic for many. In exploring Bitcoin, its potential impact on the global economy, and the guiding philosophy behind his decisions, Saylor provides a unique perspective that transcends the typical discourse surrounding cryptocurrency. Saylor's journey offers insights that extend beyond the realm of investing. It becomes a narrative about deep conviction, challenging the status quo and envisioning a world where Bitcoin contributes significantly to positive change. His words carry weight, offering a nuanced understanding of the cryptocurrency landscape and presenting a compelling case for the profound potential he sees in Bitcoin. Embedded in Saylor's advice is a lesson on the importance of focus in both investment and life. It's not merely about where one allocates financial resources. Rather, it emphasizes the strategic channeling of energy and attention. Amid a world filled with distractions and uncertainties, Saylor advocates for a clear focus as the most potent ally, providing a guiding principle for those navigating the intricate dynamics of the cryptocurrency realm. For more Daily Dose Crypto News, check out these 2 awesome videos on your screen. Click now and we will see you on the next video.